Why are there self-driving cars in the US and not in Europe? Is it because the streets and roads in the US are simpler? The opposite seems to be the case. Follow me on this story about Waymo and the Always Stop. Hi, my name is Andreas Hense and I make videos on business process automation. Today I explain the principle of the American Always Stop that doesn't exist in Germany. I use a Petri net to make this principle crystal clear. I then show you how Waymo self-driving cars navigate the famous streets of San Francisco, where always stops are everywhere. So let's start right away. So how does the always stop work? We have an always stop here. We are coming with our car towards this stop, and you can see the stop sign has an addition saying all way below, and all four directions of this crossing have the same sign here. There's one car in the middle of the crossing. There is another one, a black one, on the left, already waiting at the crossing. He has stopped already, and we are coming third. So watch what's happening right now. So we have to wait for the car on the left because this car was first. So this is first in, first out principle. And while the crossing is blocked, we have to wait. There's no car from the right, and so we are third to go. And now you can see the principle, and we will now model this with a Petri net. Here you can see the Petri net, or part of the Petri net we have used for modeling the always stop. And there are four parts that are identical. On the left-hand side, we have cars from west to east. On the right-hand side, we have cars from east to west. And we also have cars from north to south and from south to north. And if we look at one of them, we can see that there is a possibly infinite number of cars available on the road, and but only one car can arrive at the crossing and be stopped in the first position, because this is important. So there is this place here, first free, which controls that. And now the car can enter the crossing if there is a marking here, if there's a token in this place called free. And this place called free models this critical zone, which is the middle of the crossing. So if we enter here, we take this token here, and afterwards we can leave the crossing, and the token is put back to this place. So if we look at the behavior of the net a little more zoomed out, so we can see all of the cars or all of the directions. So let's say we have one car arriving here, another one arriving here, and now we have four cars waiting here. So let's say the one on the right-hand side goes into the crossing. Now you can see that all other directions cannot enter the crossing, and this car from the right-hand side first has to leave the crossing until the other cars can enter the crossing again. So now this is all very nice. We have understood the FIFO principle, first in, first out. And now we look at another situation, at another crossing here. Again, we have the always stop sign that you can see here. And watch what's happening right now. I stop this here. So here you can see that we have this, this taxi, the yellow taxi, turning right, and another car, the black car, is also in the crossing at the same time, turning left. So the model we have made so far does not really accommodate for the fact that two cars or maybe even more cars can be passing at the same time. And so the crossing is not one single zone or a critical zone, but maybe rather four critical zones. And in our next PetriNet model, we will take account of that fact. So here we have the more complex PetriNet that takes into account that there are four areas in the crossing that can be free or occupied. And now, when a car comes from the west, first the car arrives at the crossing and it stopped, and then it has to indicate if it's going left, straight on, or right. And for example, if we say we want to go left and we are now in the crossing, we occupy these 3 quarters of the crossing. And if we go back 1 step, if we go straight on, we just occupy these 2 parts. And if we go back and if we go right, we just occupy 1 part of the crossing. So if you take all this together now with 4 directions, we have this situation. So let's assume we have 4 cars coming from all direction, and for example, the one from the south says he wants to go straight. So now we can see that the car from the west can only turn right now at the same time, for example, and the car from the north can even turn right as well. So we can have 3 cars at the same time occupying different parts of the crossing. If we reset it and just have 4 cars again arriving there, let's say the car from the east wants to turn left, so occupies these 3 parts of the crossing. The only car that can pass now is the car from the south turning right. So that's another situation. And we also have the situation that we have 4 cars passing at the same time. If they all arrive here and everyone wants to go right, this is possible. Now you can see we have 4 cars turning right at the same time at the crossing, so we have the maximum throughput here. So now the Waymo is coming to a crossing. You can see the stop, the always stop sign on the right. And there are currently 2 cars in the crossing. One is already leaving, the other one is coming from the front. Now we are arriving and the car opposite is arriving probably at the same time. There is another Waymo on the left arriving clearly later, so see what happens. Both pass at the same time and it's done. Okay, here we are in the Waymo, and you can see on the right hand side the stop sign. This happens to be at the same crossing we have already seen earlier. There's a bus in front, and now watch what the Waymo does. There's a pedestrian with a dog coming from the right, and now the bus is passing because the bus was clearly the first. There's also a bicycle. I don't know if this is even legal to go like that with a bicycle. It's something in between a car and a pedestrian. And of course we have to wait for the pedestrians to pass first. There is a black car coming from the right. There is another black car coming from the opposite direction. And now the pedestrians have gone, and now the Waymo turns left, and I think it's exactly what needs to be done in this situation. And I don't know what you think about this, but I think this is fascinating the way it does it, because it drives exactly like you would expect a careful human driver to behave here. And I wonder whether the Waymo cars have just been trained many times, or if there are any kind of traffic rules incorporated to them. Also, I would like to know, do you agree that the Petri net and the rules that we have for the always stop are more complex than most traffic rules we have otherwise? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.